Hello, my name is Rafael Seiz, and in this learning object we are going to learn how to describe functions and applications in technical English. These are the contexts. We are going to start with the concept of technical functions and applications, what they are. Followed by the expressions, the typical expressions for functions and applications in technical English. We're going to study some verb families associated to the verbs allow, ensure, or prevent. We will move on then to point out some differences, important differences between Spanish and English in this respect. And we will finish with a summary. The objectives of this object is to learn how to use expressions in English correctly, and also to differentiate between verb constructions to express these two important functions of the English language: the functions of objects and the applications in engineering, for example. Then technical functions. When we express technical functions and features, it means that we are expressing what the product does and has. So the actions that the object or product can carry out, normally technical actions or activities. The verbs to express functions are normally classified into three families: allow, enable, permit, or ensure, make sure, or the third family, prevent or stop, as we will see in a minute. The other concept which is important to know is technical applications. What are technical applications in English? The applications and uses. It's what the product is used for. And also it can include the areas where it can be used, the type of engineering, for example, etc. And the structures to express applications are normally variations of the word use, the verb, or used to, used in, also another verb such as serve, or adjectives such as useful. Now we're going to see the expressions to describe functions. The first family is that of the verbs allow, enable, or permit. They are followed by infinitive with to. This is important. Here we have a typical example. The thermostat allows the temperature to remain constant. The second family of verbs will comprise the verbs ensure or make sure. In this case, they are followed by a full sentence with or without the particle that. In the same example, it can be expressed in a different way with this example. The thermostat ensures that, without that, the temperature remains constant. Here we have a full sentence after the verbs expression functions. And the last family is prevent or stop. This is a kind of negative function. They are followed by the particle, the preposition from plus the verb in ing. Exactly the same idea can be expressed with this family of verbs. The thermostat prevents the temperature from changing without control. It is important not to mix these constructions. Each family of verbs have a different expression, a different preposition, and a different construction. Here, for example, we have how to use the verb allow in a technical English sentence in the active or in the passive. It is followed by the object in blue and infinitive with to in red. The flight deck allows who? The pilot to do what? To control the whole flight. Or we can use it also in the passive. Again, we must use the particle to. The network system allows what? The information to do what? To be exchanged easily and reliable. In this case, we're using the passive meaning. Exactly the same happens with the verb enable, followed by the object and infinitive with to. More examples. The adjustable headrest enables the crew to adapt the position of their heads. Or the main bulb enables the flow of water to be monitored at all times. And also we can use the verb make with any adjective depending on the meaning. And here the construction is made it plus the adjective plus for, which includes the object of a person, and to plus the infinitive. The example is clear. Long-haul flights make it possible, easy, expensive, etc. for passengers to travel around the world in hours. Or we can use it in the passive as well. Long-haul flights make it feasible for cargo to be transported quickly and safely. Depending on the meaning, we must use active or passive constructions. But the structure, the general structure remains with for object and to introducing the infinitive of the verb. There are other verbs that allow us to describe the purpose and function of products, devices, and they have a causative meaning. For example, to cause. The ice on the surfaces causes the temperature to drop sharply. Here there is a strong cause and effect relationship between two ideas. To permit is less strong. For example, good weather conditions permitted the aircraft to take off. The structure is the same with infinitive with to, but in the case of permit, there is not as such a strong relation between the cause and the effect. Good weather conditions actually were not the direct cause of the aircraft taking off. And we can also use a variation with the verb to make, which is very important to know how it works in technical English. Here we have a clear example. The thermostat makes the system keep a constant temperature. In this case, make goes with the infinitive without to. That is very important. Something important to consider is that these verbs and constructions are often similar, equivalent to subjunctive expressions in the Spanish language. For example, el polímetro permite que los ingenieros controlen is a subjunctive, el sistema. In English we have no subjunctive constructions, but we have subjunctive equivalent expressions, the ones we saw, and we have to use the correct expression, but without thinking of the subjunctive expression in Spanish. In other words, not translated directly from Spanish. And here, this word in Spanish would be translated or expressed in English with this example. The multimeter allows engineers to control the system. Now we're going to move on to see some expressions for application and purpose in English. We can use a general one. The product's main use or purpose is, for example, electronic measurements. And if we can also use the main users of the products are automation engineers, if we want to express the people that use this application. Or we can use, in example 3 and 4, a difference between 2 and 4. The product is used to monitor pressure, to plus the infinitive of the verb as such. Or the product is used for, in this case we use ing, is used for monitoring pressure. It is important to use to plus infinitive or for plus ing. Or we can use expressions with useful. It is useful to or for control or controlling the flow of current. It is used or useful in this case, the area, civil engineering. Here we have a table summarizing the typical expressions and an example. A bulb is a device used to regulate the flow of fluids. It is used in mechanical engineering and allows engineers to keep control of the movement of fluids, making sure it is always the right one and preventing excessive pressure from damaging the pipes. So, as a conclusion, it is important to know the right expressions in English, to know the family of verbs and the constructions that are associated, and to use specific English expressions rather than translations from Spanish. Thank you very much. I hope this was useful for you. Thanks.